Hello, Core 3 Beauties. This is Marcos, and this is our week 7 going to week 8 recap briefing video for our design studio class at Parsons School of Design. And this is a big transition week. We've got a project ending and a project not only beginning, but continuing. And I want to make sure everybody's on track and is aware of what's due, when it's due, and that each of you will be as prepared as possible to continue to do the best work you've been doing. Last week we had our individual midterm reviews and had great conversations with each of you, and hope that you're all feeling good about where you are in the class and in your junior year and in your experience at Parsons and in your choice for being a designer, and always open to talk more if you need more feedback um, at any time. So just let me know. And let's take a look now at what we're looking at. So week 7 has come and gone. We're going into week 8, and we're going to be having our final review for our second project, the digital forms project that each of you should be busily finalizing right now and getting ready to showcase on Tuesday. And Tuesday we're going to have reviews of everyone. So I need each of you to be ready to go. I do want I had to for each of you to have a deck that you upload. It may be in two pieces. You might have a deck and then a link on a separate piece. You may want to put a recording in your deck and then have your live digital piece be a separate link. But mostly I want a deck so that there's the full story of your project in one place. It has the all the pieces that we always talk about that you've been putting into your pieces as it goes through the week. Edit it down as needed so that it's shorter. And I do want you to just talk a little bit when you go through and present. Just give a recap, not a full one, not too much time because we got to get through the whole thing with the whole class. That just will lead up to you showcasing your final piece, which you can demonstrate live, or you can run a video if that's better, but probably do it live. So be ready for that. And it will be a treat critique, of course. We're going to have a treat critique, so I will have treats there. And we'll celebrate while looking at everyone's finished work and giving feedback and just getting you propped and ready to go for the final project. And then on Thursday, that's going to be a little scary here, but we're going to have another full class and we're going to review our research concept presentations. And I'll go over what that is, but that'll be due, and that'll be a continuation of what you already presented to me last week at our individual meetings. It'll be the one you choose, the issue, the cause that you choose, and you'll expand a little bit on your research, and then you'll present basically your concept for what you want to do. And a brand strategy and some further research on positioning yourself to begin to create the logo, and you'll present a name if you can get that far, like the name of what you're doing. Again, I'll go over that in a second here. And then the rest of the semester goes as follows. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, and then 8th is the review. We're going to go from the concept logo to finalizing the logo and creating some touch points on week 10. And on week 11, 12, and 13, and 14 will be about pivoting fully to the print and digital main assets that we talked about, similar to your two projects you just did for print and digital at the first half of the semester. And you will, through your own schedule, your own workflow, create both those pieces, probably partially simultaneously, maybe focusing on one over the other. And we'll have a set of half-class sessions and presentations for a couple of weeks on week 10 and 11, individual work session day on week 12 and on the Tuesday, and then a full class presentation on the end of that week to get everyone connected and to see what's going on and presenting your progress. Then week 13 is the Thanksgiving break week, and we'll have online individual reviews on the Tuesday before, and on the Thursday we'll be on break. And then after after a panic incurs and each of you realize you got one more week to go, you'll have that last week with a half class session set up for reviews and work time for everyone on the days they're not meeting. And then the final reviews on the 15th, on week 15, where they will be celebrating. Okay, so that's the overview. And here's another version of it where we have, oh, look, there's design student Sally, and she has gotten on to the path towards beauty and human flourishing. And this is the path that you guys are stepping onto now as well. I think we can get her to move. Oh, look at this. And so Sally, oh, she's not kicking it. She's walking up the rainbow. So don't mistake that bad animation there. But design student Sally has picked her social cause based on individual needs or cultural opportunities. And she's now, just like you guys are, creating a concept strategy deck, which I'll go over in a second, for a new brand. And design student Sally will start marching up towards what the brand could be, and the brand name, the brand logo, the brand standards, the brand touch point, as we peak to the top. And then as we go down the beautiful slope towards human flourishing, we will create the two main analog and digital pieces, or touch points, print or experiential, the digital motion or interaction as touch points, as the main touch points. And where we're going is your design concepts, your design activations as a means to help in human flourishing. So that we'll keep track of this beauty rainbow as we continue working on the projects, so each of you can see where you're at so far in the journey. So the workflow for week 8 is Tuesday. We've got the digital forms final presentation. Don't freak out. You almost got there. You're almost there. Complete that. Check in with me if you need. Send me an email. But I think everyone's pretty much on top of that. And then as soon as that's done, or while you're doing that, high five yourself for a quick second and immediately pivot to your final project and continue with the research you've already done, the concept you presented, have one that you picked, and think about that while you get there so you know what you're doing. Create a research deck, which we're going to go over here in a second. And that's the second half of the week work that you're doing. And on Thursday, you're going to present that concept deck to the whole class. So everyone's meeting both Tuesday and Thursday. And then you're going to begin brand identity logo designs on Friday and over the weekend for the next steps. So also look out for the next video on art direction, I think it is, and that should be coming. So I'll be emailing you that soon. Okay, so let's talk about specifically for what's due on Thursday. After the digital reviews, we'll have a Thursday session, and it's going to be our independent project, or our final project, however we want to call it, project 3, part 2. And it's the research concept presentation. So on Thursday, we will meet in the class to review your social issue. Remember, no one else has seen what you're doing. We had one-on-one sessions, and to learn about each of your brand strategies and brand name concepts. So we're going to do everything up to setting ourselves up to begin the logo design for next week, or for the next week. So following the selection of your cause, which you should be doing or have done by now, you will continue your final project by creating a research deck. The purpose of your deck will be to identify and present the social issue you are addressing with your project, and to give an overview of the following. What's the cause? Talk about that. Set it up like you did with me. Use that those same assets. What has been done by other organizations to combat the problem? So this is a new element. Now I want you to do some research to look at, I'll call them competitors or partners in this cause. What are organizations out there doing similar things? If you find that you have a cause that's kind of doesn't have a competitor, or it's a little bit more ambiguous, look for, again, I'll call them competitors. Look for other organizations or causes that may not be related to what you're doing, but are doing it in an effective way that's inspirational, the way they do it. So look, that's how you can pivot from that. Then I want you to define who your target audience is, and you can't just say everyone is my target audience. I want you to be specific who it is. Um, and think about that because that might be a way, an opportunity for your target audience to further define your project to make it better because it becomes more nuanced. And then begin to build your strategy in a simple way, like a summary of the mission statement, a summary mission statement of your brand, and what the goals are for what you want your brand to accomplish. That's basically what it is. How you'll address a social issue and the ways you'll communicate to your audience is the next step by creating like a mood board of visuals that shows the kinds of things you want to do, the tactics you want to develop within your assets, and then your brand name concept or concepts if you have more than one. So let's take a look at an example from a past student, and here's just an overview of what this assignment could look like for you. I'll go over it piece by piece, but it's just basically several pages of research and inspiration mood boards. And it should first component of it is what you already done, but maybe expand a little bit. So basically present your single option you want to go with, what the issue is, describe all the facts around that, and with visuals to support each page, cite statistics that help build what the problem is or what the opportunity is with your cause. And whatever else goes with it here, this person put the issue in the US versus worldwide, and also in how it affects small groups like families and friends. So find a way to kind of just expand on your issue to set up the foundation so that all of us, including you mostly, understand what it is you're trying to take on. And then from there, I want you to do three different kinds of case studies of competitors or of partners who are doing similar work. Or if you have like I just said, if you have an issue that's a little bit like not so definable with people doing it, use this as a place to show examples of inspiring organizations that are doing stuff that you want to model your approach on. So there could be inspiration, or it could be a mix of both. That might be actually not bad to mix it up a little bit. So that's the next thing, to do case studies of inspirational organizations doing things out there that are in support of your cause or unrelated, but inspiring towards how you want to do your brand. Okay, then we want to talk about the goal of how you're going to take this issue and what you plan to do within your brand. And remember, a lot of these issues are pretty heavy duty or pretty, I don't know, uncurable, unchangeable, but they're things we can do to help make experiences better or to divert attention from one problem to another. So be creative here. Like, your goal does not have to be or should not be to solve this big problem. In this case, it's suicide. So it's definitely not about stopping suicide, as much as it would be great to do that. But to scale it to a goal of reducing it. And by doing that, maybe creating a brand that diverts or gives purpose to somebody. So it doesn't have to be about suicide. It could be about something, or whatever your cause is. It could be about something else that will help cause the problem from happening by inspiring people towards something different, an alternative. Again, talk about your target audience. In this case, it was students, families, and friends, everyday individuals. This one started off as the problem being in South Korea, and just by the nature of wanting this to be more effective overall, it went more global and not so remote, because unfortunately, it's a global problem. It's not just a regional problem. And then with your strategy, start talking about what are the things you want to do in order to implement the communication of your brand and the communication of the messaging you want to do. And just break it down into short little statements about how you want to approach doing this. Do you want to create a product that can be sold to raise money? Like, that might be one way, if that might be a strategy. Like, if it's such a heavy thing like suicide, you might just want to be able to bring awareness, cause positive excitement, and create a product that will support that. Or maybe it's an app that you can interact with. Maybe it's an event. Maybe it's all those things. Think more 360 with this, and don't get caught up too much in the binary of the print and the digital. That is the assignment, and I'm not trying to focus away from that, but do have a more full scope frame of reference with this and think about how you can find several ways to support your efforts and in the strategy that's got lots of parts. And then let's start thinking about how we can bring your brand to life. And part of that is to do with like your brand is going to be interacting with your audience, and you need to have a defined personality. So start developing the kind of traits with words and images that you want your brand, your cause, um, the the way you respond to your cause, your issue, like what will that brand, what will that personality be? And then it's time to get specific. This plays off your strategy, but then really get down to what are the elements that you want to do, list them out, and again, you don't have to be fully tied down to this, but it should be something that you're going to use as a roadmap for your next steps. And then within that same idea, start looking at visual inspiration that showcases how you've seen other brands activate both the spread of information and the call to action through specific kind of design assets and design execution. So what kinds of ways would you like to see your brand be communicated? And of course, those should be based on the idea of a digital and print strategy. Okay, and then from there, once you have all that kind of thinking brought together, then begin to think about what you could call your brand. And if this is hard for you and takes time, this could shift over into the next week's assignment if needed with your logo. But it would be nice to have a name. It'd be nice if you had a one great name like this person does, and that's what it's going to be. And again, remember, this is a big part of it. Like the name is it's technically not visual, but it is visual. Like you can see with this name that it has 4 letters and 2 O's, and that 2 O's in a row bring opportunity. What the name means, it's got something to say. How unique is it? How kind of appealing is it in sound or visually matters? And it does hold a lot of weight in terms of being a part of your brand. So take this part really seriously, and I know you guys are really smart overall, and this should be no problem for any of you guys at all. And of course, remember what we do at the end here. We always put a beautiful thank you page at the end. Okay, so that's the overview, and I've put up the assignment listing those parts and the full visual of this is just cut off here at the bottom, but the full visual of all the slides that were in that first slide are on Canvas, and check this out as needed. And you may have noticed with the first assignment and the second one that there's 0 points. And the reason for that is basically for this assignment, I think it's worth 40 points overall. And what the overall topics group has been doing is, and they were doing this with the other assignments, but I wanted to do it piece by piece, and we did that. But with this assignment, I'm sticking with what everyone else is doing, which is giving a grade at the end. So there'll be a grade at the end for all the points at once. So with that in mind, like it might be better the other way because you can kind of see what's going on, but you know how things have been going. And basically, I just need you guys to do each of these assignments as I direct, put them on the Google Drive, present them on time, and you will see the A-making machine just go into beautiful mode and and just continue to construct those beautiful golden A's that each of you guys are in the middle of getting right now. So just keep doing things on time, on schedule, as well as possible. Participate, give feedback, stay on schedule, push yourselves. All that stuff is all you got to do. I mean, it's a lot, but that's why you're here, though. You're here to do that, and all the points will come all at once. So make sure you stay on track. And then there's the Google Drive that is linked in the Canvas, where you'll be putting that for our review on Thursday. All right, and there's also here the part 3 design finalization of our digital forms here at the bottom, project 2. That's for Tuesday. Okay, and just a little bit more math. Like I know there's lots of stuff coming up here, and right now once we get that digital forms project done, you'll be feeling good. But then we've got dark weeks coming up here. It's getting darker outside, it's getting colder, and we've got a big project that I don't know about you, but after seeing those examples that we looked at last week on Tuesday, that was pretty overwhelming. Like those were amazing projects. And the scary part isn't so much that I don't think you can do that. The scary part is that I know you can do that. And I know yours are going to be even somehow, just like the Olympics, you're going to jump a little bit higher than the last year's. So that means you guys are going to have to do some incredible, miraculous work. And that might be overwhelming and that might add up to confusion and fear. But so let's switch our mindset and instead be comfortable, confident, know that you've been working really hard to be where you're at right now. Know that you've got the tools to do these things. Know you have the time if used wisely and well, if you stay disciplined, if you collaborate, if you ask questions, if you push yourself, bit by bit, week by week, you will end up at the end of the equation there with that stargaze in your eyes and an incredible project that you can be proud of for the rest of your life. And it could also boost your portfolio and begin to represent you as a professional designer, because this will be work that you're doing now at the highest level. And I am here to guide you to get there. All right, guys. So remember, our ultimate goal is beauty, where we are basing our entire class on the idea that there's something more important outside of ourselves that we need to strive towards, represent, advocate for, and live for. So stay focused on that idea. Know the invisible embrace of beauty will keep you feeling good and confident, and that you're making something now that will help create a better culture, a better world, or a better person through design and through your hard work, through your inspiration and your own heart and thoughtfulness. So keep going. Let's make some great work. I look forward to seeing your projects on Tuesday. Share with me if you need. And if you need feedback, let me know, reach out. But be ready on Tuesday and then switch over and be ready on Thursday. Two big, two big deadlines in a row, but you guys can do it. So back to work, everyone. We'll see you on Tuesday.